All right, so today's topic on sales is sell the hole, not the drill. So first and foremost, who is familiar with that saying? Brogan Scott, never ever heard of that before? All right. So sell the hole, not the drill. So if we think about it, and this idea has been around forever. It actually originated from Harvard Business Review all the way back in like 1960. And the principal idea is to shift the focus of the business away from the products and services they sell to the needs and wants of the customers. Another way to look at it would be like this idea of like benefits over features. Or let's see, sell the smile, not the braces. It's all the same thing. Nobody wants braces. Nobody. What they want is a nice smile. Nobody wants a drill. They want a hole. That's it. Like when you're working on a project at home, no one goes to Home Depot and is like, I want a drill just so I can say I own a drill. They want a drill so that they can, make a hole or something. Not very handy, so the whole drill analogies are they're very few for me. So, but again, that's the idea. Now, the reason this is a problem, or I shouldn't say a problem, the reason this is a challenge is because as humans, we're hardwired to talk about stuff that we're most comfortable with. And so if you work at Home Depot, you probably know a lot about drills. Well, definitely a lot more than me. So you're going to talk all about, well, this drill has a 4-volt motor and can go 200 miles an hour. I don't know. Again, clearly you see my expertise here. But the person at Home Depot is going to start, well, and it's got this, and it's got this, and it's got this, and it can do this, and it can, it's got 47 different heads on it. And if someone told me that, I'm like, bro, I just need a hole. Like I don't, none of that stuff. And honestly, most of it, I don't even know what you're talking about when people are doing that. So again, as humans, the mistake is we tend to talk about stuff that we're most comfortable with. So as trainers, what are we most comfortable with? Exercises, equipment, and other stuff that clients they don't know, they don't understand. If you think about like Brogan could probably talk for 10 minutes about a TRX and how to adjust it and the benefit, all this crazy cool stuff about a TRX. But at the end of the day, the client's like, is that going to help me lose weight or not? Like they don't care what they don't care what a TRX can do. They don't care what a kettlebell can do. They don't care what the InBody can do. All they care about is this going to help me? Is this going to help me lose weight, have more energy, get out of my back pain, whatever the case may be? So again, the biggest mistake I see with this, I think it stems from the fact that as humans, we always want to talk about what we're comfortable with. While I'll fumble around for a minute and talk about drills and putting stuff together, at the end of the day, that is not a topic I'm good with at all. So I'm going to spend as little time talking about it as possible. So example, I'll use a couple Alloy examples, but if you think about like what matters to the person, so we'll start with like, what would we not want to talk about? Well, or we want to talk about it as little as possible. All right. I would never mention to someone like, Alloy is a franchise or Alloy is founded in 1992. Now, if someone asks, is this a franchise? Then absolutely, that's different. If someone asks a specific question, then answer the question, definitely. However, it would be if someone was like, and I've never heard anyone on our team do this, but if we were like, I'm CSCS certified and I have my ACSM corrective exercise special, most people are just gonna be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I have no clue, and they don't care. So again, we don't do that, but I've heard trainers in the past that would go on about their qualifications. And in truth, I would say in the last 10 years, I've probably had 3 or 4. I mean, I probably get one once a year, maybe, that gets brought up. Like, what are the trainers' qualifications? It so rarely happens. So again, what things we wouldn't want to say is talking about like how, alloy's background or history, because it's like people don't really matter. It doesn't matter to them. All that matters is it going to help, is that going to help me lose weight or get stronger or whatever it is? We have to be careful of like going too far down a rabbit hole with like small group personal training. And just like explaining, well, we work up with and we can quickly skim over the fact that, we do small group personal training. It's individual, there's up to 6 people at a time, but it's, everything's individualized to the person. But we don't want to spend much time on it at all. We want to be really quick about that. So a lot of times I won't even mention we do semi-private training or small group personal training. I won't even mention it unless they specifically ask. So I wouldn't talk about any sort of equipment. I wouldn't talk, and that's something that, like to me, that's probably the most obvious, like cringeworthy thing that I've heard in the past on different phone calls is people be like, oh, well, we've got kettlebells and ropes and bikes and all. It's like they don't care. They don't. Most of the time, people don't even know what you're talking about. It's like when I'll joke and be like, people will be like a kettleball. And it's like they don't even know what it is. So keep that in mind. So I don't want to talk about any sort of equipment. I don't want to talk about even the InBody. I don't want to go into detail about the InBody. I'll be like, cool, we got a way that we can track your progress. That's it. I won't mention any sort of exercise or movement patterns. If a trainer is talking about like, well, we do like, pushing and pulling and knee down, it's like, oh, you lost them totally over their head. And again, the person doesn't care. So again, that's the biggest thing to think about is you have to remember, it's like the things that I'm most comfortable with, being exercise nerds like we all are, like that's the thing that people don't care, like they don't understand, and they for the most part don't care about it. So instead, what we have to do first and foremost, we have to identify what the customer wants from our service. All right. We have to identify what do they want? What are they looking for? What do they need? Well, and that's why we have to start with asking questions. If we don't ask questions, we don't know. That's why it's so important, whether it's on a phone call or, or in person or during a starting point session. That's why we always want to start with asking questions. What are your goals? What are you looking to work towards? That's why we ask those peeling the onion questions. The better we can identify what the customer needs and wants from our service, the better we can speak to them in a way that is relatable. So again, first thing we have to do is identify what the customer wants. Then the second thing we have to do, we have to connect the dots between what we do and how it will benefit them. We've talked about it before. I know you guys have all heard me say, we're talking about like selling the benefits of the exercise. That's kind of where this comes from. But we have to, it's our job as coaches to connect the dots between what we do and how it will benefit them. If we do a good job of this, this prevents someone from saying, well, I didn't feel like the workouts were really personalized to me. When someone says that, or when I see that, it generally tells me it's like, you know what, that's because we didn't do a good enough job of selling them on the benefits of how it relates to their goals. So how we connect those dots as far as how it will benefit them, there's 2 things that I would say all the time. First one is so that you, and the second one is because. So those are the 2 things that will make a huge difference in selling someone on the benefits. So because that would be, Scott, we're doing this exercise because it will help improve your posture and offset the damage from sitting behind a desk all day like you knew at your accounting job. Kelly, we're doing this exercise because it's going to be great to strengthen your core from a standing position, because I know it's really important for you to be able to pick up those patients at work at the hospital. And this is going to really help protect your back. Brogan, we're doing this exercise because it's going to help strengthen your glutes, which will take pressure off your knees, because I know being a runner, that's something that's really been concerning to you. Alicia, we're doing this exercise because it will help strengthen your shoulder, help open up your shoulders, which is going to help you drive a golf ball a lot further. Again, we really need to, because is the easiest way to really do that when we're using or when we're talking about exercises. Another one, again, the other one being like, so that you, we do small group personal training so that you get the benefits of working with a personal trainer, but also being in a supportive and fun environment. We do total body workouts so that it allows you to have more flexibility with your schedule. Meaning, if someone's traveling, they don't have to worry about like, well, I missed out on leg day, if I miss a day. So those are the two best phrases that I have to help segue that, take like, what do they want and what are we giving them? It's just by saying, so that we try to set you up on recurring appointments, Brogan, so that you can better plan your week around your exercise and get into more of a routine. So, so that you, and because, those are the two phrases that I'm using all day, every day. And it's because I want to it's how I connect the dots between what you want as a client and what we're offering and how it will benefit them. So those are the two things that we, that I'll do to connect those dots. When you're thinking about an individual, when you're thinking about a person, about a client or a potential client, I always want to think about it as far as like, what does this person want? Like, what are the benefits of this exercise to the client, and why should they care? If you're trying to sell me on an exercise and you tell me like, oh yeah, this is great for, strengthening your legs, I might be like, meh, okay, cool. Like, I'm not, like, that's not bad, but it's not great. If you said, hey, John, we're doing this exercise because I know you really want to hike Half Dome, and this is going to help you get up to the top. You got me. I'm like, I'm all ears, man. Tell me, what do you got? So that's the more specific you can make it, the better. So if you think about it, it's like, always look at it as like, why should this person care? Why should a person care about using kettlebells? They shouldn't. They don't. But why should a person care about doing a goblet squat and how it will transfer over to when they're picking up their grandkid? Like that, okay, now you're talking to me. Now you got my attention. So that's where we have to think about, we have to, again, start with what does the person want? And then how can we connect those dots between what they're after and how this is going to benefit them? And so again, I always look at it through the lens of why should this person care and what's in it for them, or how do they benefit? The better at that the better at that we are, the better we can connect those dots, the more effective we'll be, the better buy-in we'll get. Because if we're telling someone, and that's why I always suggest, like with each workout with every client, we should be selling them on the benefits of one or two exercises. You don't want to do it on everything, because then you're just going to overwhelm them, probably bore them to death at a certain point. And you don't have time, logistics, you don't have time to explain everything to everyone. So that's why I think, though, it is very good if we can take one or two exercises every workout and really specify how it benefits the person. Again, if we're doing some mini band stuff with someone in knee pain, I'm probably going to go that route. Someone that really wants to work on their balance, I'm probably going to talk about their balance. Someone that really wants to get get out of back pain, I'm probably going to talk about how the core exercises are going to help, how that's going to help them out. So the cool part is when it's kind of like the old saying, if exercise was a pill, it'd be the most popular prescription on the planet. And the cool part is, if you think about, what are the benefits of what we offer? I mean, you can come up with 20 things almost instantly. from, getting stronger, increase muscle, increase strength, decrease body fat, having more energy, lower your blood pressure, decreased risk of disease, pretty much every disease out there, better stamina, decreased chance of injury, increased happiness or mental health, stronger bones for a lot of our older clients, increased focus, more enjoyable, hiking, having more energy so that you can play with your grandkids, or being able to get up off the floor after you play with your grand. I mean, the list is endless. But that's the big thing of today is really thinking about, sell the hole, not the drill. So we want to think about, like I said, what's in it for this person. And you have to, I think awareness is the first step, because you're gonna default to talking about what you're most comfortable with. We all are. That's how we are as humans. But again, we have to look at it as like, what's in it for the client. I'm gonna stop video. Where am I? Oh, there we are. Sorry.